The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros. Oscar De La Hoya says in his prime, he would have dominated Canelo. All right, we're going to take a listen to what Oscar had to say, and then we'll discuss it. So Oscar was asked about who would win prime for prime, him versus Canelo, and here's what he said.
Would have won at 154? You or Canelo?
Oh, okay.
Who,
Yeah.
How do you think it would have went? You around
Easy,
that time?
hands down. Yeah.
You?
Oh, easy. Come on.
Why?
Why? Because nobody can stop the jab. Nobody can ever stop this jab. And if in my prime, oh, my footwork was impeccable. I mean, they would have lost him. I mean, it's, when you have heavy legs and heavy feet, and you're walking on quicksand, a fighter like me, who I probably would have had Floyd Sr. train me, it would have been probably a walk in the park.
There was a lot of talk.
All right, so that clip was courtesy of Fight Hype. Subscribe to Fight Hype Fight Hype for the latest in boxing news. All right, so bro, you heard his assessment of how the fight would have gone down. They said 154 prime for prime. What's your reaction to what he said?
Old heads talk about back in my day. This is my day. Class started 2 hours ago. Oh, am I late? I already graduated, and you can live through anything. Yeah, magic made it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They say I talk with so much emphasis. Ooh,
so sensitive. That's when Kanye. Oh man, old Kanye. Old Kanye, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Old Oscar talking about in my day. This is Canelo's day. You know what I'm saying? This is what day it is. It's Canelo's day. It's a new day. Yeah, Oscar, you was a bad dude back in the days. You was a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you done made me mad a couple of nights. You know? But you know what I'm saying? This is Canelo's time, and style makes fights. You know? And we don't know what'll happen. You know? But all I'm gonna say is, I will give you that. Back in the days, you was the man. You know what I'm saying? And but this is Canelo's time. So all that is just I can't rock with it. But yeah, I give you props. Under Floyd Sr., you was a different type of animal. You was a different type of beast. Mm-hmm. But so is Canelo. Canelo's a different type of beast. You know what I'm saying? So we really don't know. You know what I mean? But I will give you, Oscar, you was a problem before the fishnets.
Yo, I'm gonna be 1,000. Oscar was one of my favorite fighters growing up. Like when Oscar was fighting, I was tuned in. I knew I was gonna watch. This is before like YouTube and everything. You had to wait for little articles to be written on ESPN. I would go to ESPN.com every day to wait to see, because they would give little snippets of like training camp and whatever. And they would always give reports on how people were looking in camp. And so some reporter would go in and they'll be like, oh, Oscar's looking good in camp. And I would read it and be like, oh, great. Or someone will report like, oh, Oscar's looking like he's having trouble making weight. And I'd be like, oh, nah, man, I'm worried. Right. And so, even like when Oscar made his campaign at 160, part of why I knew it was going to be difficult for him was the reports that I was reading was saying how he didn't look physically like, he looked kind of chunky and stuff like that. And then when I would see it, it would match up. But anyways, Oscar was a great fighter. You can't take away the classics that Oscar had. Oscar was huge for the sport of boxing. I stated in one of our last videos how the transformation of the smaller guys who weren't heavyweights, making big money. Oscar's a huge part of that. Oscar, Floyd Money Mayweather. The fact that we're going to see Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank Martin headline a pay-per-view, that wasn't the case. The 130 pounders used to be on the undercard for the heavyweights, and people used to not want to watch the 130 pounders. So, not to say everyone, but some people, so you got to give it to Oscar De La Hoya. He's a legend. He helped change the sport of boxing. I'll give him a pass because this guy asked Oscar the question. It wasn't like he just came out and said, I would beat Canelo. Someone asked him the question, so he answered it. But I do think the way he said I'd beat him easy and all types of stuff, to me, that's disrespectful. Like the way he answered it made it seem like Canelo wouldn't be a challenge for him. And I know fighters who aren't Canelo who were challenges for him, right? So we can bring up Felix Sturm. He said his jab never. Felix Sturm beat him with a jab, and
Yeah,
everyone knows.
they robbed
Yeah.
my man Felix Stern. He beat him up the whole night with a jab.
Yep.
That's at 160 though. Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Everyone knows that. A classic fight that I always bring up was Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Corte. I still remember that fight was a great fight. I mean, they both went down. Oscar was down. He had to put Corte down in the 12th, and I still thought Corte won by 1 point, but Oscar got the decision. But Corte's no Canelo, right? When we look at Corte's, and Corte fought Vargas tough too, so Corte was no slouch, but he was no Canelo, right? So Oscar, you had tough nights with guys who weren't as good as Canelo. So I don't know where we're gonna act like Canelo's an easy fight for Oscar. Oscar beat Fernando Vargas, and that wasn't an easy fight. He won that fight, but it wasn't an easy fight. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like Canelo would have been easy for him, but I'm not gonna act like he doesn't have enough to be like I would win that fight. But you could have showed more respect with the way you answered it. So based on it, it's like he wanted to throw shade.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know you're rocking with. It's the Boxer Bros. Oh, it's Chief Lab.